This Choircast podcast is brought to you by The Choirlings, a private Facebook page for people going through deconstruction, where each month we go through a book together, not only discussing it with each other, but also with the actual author of the book. It's a great way to connect with other people going through deconstruction and also connect with the author of books that are going to encourage you along your journey. If you'd like to join us, find us on Facebook. It's Choirlings, Choirlings. Hope to see you there.
Hey, heathens. You're listening to the Deadly Faith podcast where religion and crime collide. I'm Lola.
And I'm Lacey.
And this shit is ongoing.
The mind that was in Jesus, that mind is in me.
Without me, life has no meaning.
Why would God tell you what I'm thinking and tell you what I've said to my wife or my husband when you're not around? It's because I'm the pastor of the church and I need to know.
This is the only place where you can see truth.
Dun, 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 dun. I am so excited about this case. I'm not excited about the case.
I was going to say,
but
why
I'm
are
excited.
you excited?
I'm excited to learn about it. Okay, guys, we are talking about the Micah Miller case. We are recording this Wednesday, May 22nd, and it is coming to you this coming Tuesday, whatever the fuck day that is. Okay, so
the
like
28th.
6 days from now. There you go. It's coming out. We are pushing this one way up the schedule because it's ongoing. But the moment this case came out, our editor texted us in our little group chat, and Lola got to the text before I did. And she was like, "Can I cover the case?" And I was like, "Sweet, I won't look into it." Little did I know this was going to consume all of social media everywhere. I had past clients of mine texting me, "Have you heard about this case?" And I'm like, "Don't tell me a thing. Lola's covering it on the podcast. Don't tell me a thing." And then I'd be scrolling TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or something I'd come across and I'd have to stop it. And then I was like, "I didn't watch it, I promise, but I'm just sending this to you."
She would just send it to me immediately and look away from it.
I guess not excited. I'm just eager to hear the details of this case because it has been.
I know. Because like 2 details about it, I guess.
I know the basic premise and that's it.
Hey, heathens. Follow Bracelets has an offer just for our listeners. Follow Bracelets are gorgeous, colorful animal bracelets that come with access to track your very own wildlife. You can pick from all kinds of animals like turtles, sloths, sharks, lions, and more. Your bracelet comes with a QR code to easily track their movements online. The best part is that every purchase directly benefits organizations that save wildlife. I have a gorilla and a sloth bracelet. They are so beautiful, and I love the little animal information cards that come with your bracelet. Go to myfollow.com, that's myfahlo.com, and use the code LaceyBean20 to get 20% off your purchase today. Now back to the show. So I'm going to give you the nitty-gritty. I will say before I get into it that there's a lot of misinformation with ongoing cases. And so I made sure to go off of court affidavits and court documents as much as possible and the family's interviews. So if I couldn't check it in 3 different places, I'm not talking about it here. So other things that are going to come up that are circling on TikTok, if you send us a message about it, I'm just going to say I couldn't verify it or else I would have talked about it.
That's hard with these cases, but you want to, especially these ongoing cases, you want to be as ethical with your reporting. And if we're just reporting what's being said on social media without verifying any of it, then all it's going to do is muddy the current case that is ongoing and being investigated. And we don't want to do that. We want to give the case its best chance at coming to a correct conclusion. And if that's a conviction and trial, then that's what happens.
Aside from that, the fact that I am just going to be talking about things that I could verify in 3 different ways. John Paul Miller is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and no charges have been made against him in this case at this point in time. All theories about his involvement are alleged. I need to go ahead and preface that before I get into trigger warnings. So I will say alleged a lot when it comes to him.
And we will say that again throughout and probably at the end. And if you get annoyed with that, I'm sorry, not sorry, but we have to cover ourselves legally. So it is what it is.
So trigger warnings are suicide/alleged murder, marital abuse, spiritual abuse, and sexual content.
Oh, I did not know this was going to go to sexual content. Okay.
Are you ready? Do you have questions? Do you have concerns? I have so many.
I have many questions. I'm going to put those away for now until we get through the case.
I am going to hop around a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of like normal, but I'll connect the dots for you later on. So,
sounds great.
Micah Miller. She was born March 7th, 1994.
Oh, she's young. Oh my God. I did not realize that.
I knew that would get you.
That's 4 years younger than me. So she was 29?
She was 30.
She was 30. Okay.
Yeah, March 7th. So this year she had turned 30.
She just turned 30. Oh my God.
She is from Wichita, Kansas. Love that name, Wichita.
I know, me too.
But she and her family moved to Myrtle Beach in 2007. And Micah got married to a man named John Paul Miller, or JP. I'll call him JP most of the time. JP is a pastor who created Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Side note, if you want to go look at his sermons and stuff, most of them are online. They do like live streamings every Sunday, it seems. But he gets extremely emotional. And one like telltale sign of spiritual manipulation is that you get extremely like teary, extremely like worked up when you're talking about whatever your sermon is about. It's not in a heartfelt way. Like it's very cringy.
It's very manipulative.
Yeah. It's like you're just trying too hard to like fit the part of a really tapped in, like emotional person. So it's really uncomfortable to watch, but if you want to watch it, go for it.
I'm going to have to go watch a few after this, at least little segments just to see.
He says some off the wall shit in sermons, like don't talk about your marital problems with anyone. And like hearing God tell him very, very specific things. Like
don't talk with anyone about your marital problems.
Yeah.
Red flag. We need that guy with like the ginormous red flag running through the forest video.
Sir,
we need him.
This.
Sir. Yeah.
Can we get him? I
yeah.
want him to make a commercial for Deadly Faith. That's like,
I know, right?
For all the people you cover.
Like, it's like a red, like we need him to come up with a sound. Okay. Just like a red flag sound. And then like just have a soundboard where it's like, we just hit it. Yeah.
So we can insert it every time. It's like that easy button. Do you remember those?
Yes.
We need one of those, but for him. Red flag. So Micah, let's get back to her. Micah, she was a super talented, creative leader in Solid Rock Church. She was like part of the worship team. She had a beautiful voice. There are Facebook videos of her singing and like testimony where she would speak about her mental health journey because she did struggle with mental health. Who doesn't, you know?
Yeah.
And she would talk about like her faith in God and how that really centered her and put her on a better path for her mental health. It really encouraged her to like try to be better and seek out help where she needed it. So
yeah,
I really like hearing her speak. She seems very genuine in her like testimony about how God has impacted her life in such a good way.
Yeah.
The two of them met in 2009 when Micah was 14 or 15.
Oh, fuck.
And she was in his youth group at Solid Rock.
Red flag.
I mean, like...
Shit. Not good. This is not good.
So they met in 2009. They got married in 2017. So they've known each other a very long time.
Very long time.
I'm fast forwarding in time because I don't really have a lot of information when it comes to what happened during their marriage until later on. We've got some exposed things. So at this point, I'm just skipping forward to October 2023 when we found out some major details happening around her death. So
okay,
October of 2023, Micah filed for divorce. In February of 2024, the divorce case was dismissed because they were trying to work things out. But 10 days later, John Paul, he filed for legal separation in pursuit of divorce. So like initially she filed for divorce, it was taken off the table, and then he filed for it. In this same month, so February of 2024, JP had Micah admitted to Waccamaw, I'm not sure how you say it, Center for Mental Health. This is according to a sworn affidavit from her sister Sierra. So Micah was not admitted of her own free will. I didn't know that this was possible, but apparently this is possible in that area. So JP was the one that admitted her, and allegedly,
especially if it's coming from your spouse.
I was thinking like, I guess it would make sense that like your spouse could do that. Because I don't know.
Yeah. Like with the Grant and Gracie case.
Yeah.
Grant and Gracie Solomon. He
I forgot about that. Yeah.
had her admitted.
That's true. So allegedly, Micah called police from the bathroom of the facility after being admitted. But when law enforcement arrived, she was with JP, and he would not allow her to speak with officers, allegedly. So,
red flag. I swear I'm going to get annoyed saying that.
This whole thing, the word actually should have been ongoing. It should have been red flag.
Yeah.
So while she was at this mental health facility, JP removed all of her personal items from the home they shared. Specifically, he removed her digital devices. So like Apple Watch and products like phone.
Yeah.
Her laptop, things like that. All of her like digital property. Digital, is that the right word? Whatever.
Yeah.
Electronics.
Yeah.
So she was not aware that her possessions were being taken or removed from the residence until she was released from the hospital. I don't know how long she was in that hospital for, but it wasn't like a month or like, it wasn't like a super long time.
If I had to guess, if she was being admitted by against her free will, then most likely, I think it's 72 hours. I know 72 hours is the minimum for like suicidal hold, but I don't know what he was telling them. I'm not sure why she was admitted. But Sierra is the person that is her sister, and she's the one that's like carrying out a lot of the legal things on behalf of her sister, Micah. Yeah.
Amid all of this. So this is the information from her was in a sworn affidavit where she gave all this information. Okay. She said that her sister had expressed abuse and violence made against her by JP. Not just to her, but like she also talked about it with others.
Oh, wow.
Like close friends, I assume.
Yeah.
So she said that Micah had told her that JP was tracking her car, having her followed by family members and members of the church congregation.
Oh my God.
And this isn't even alleged because JP confirms this in a recorded sermon. He confirms a lot of these things that
I'm sorry. Wait, rewind. He confirms that he had people from the church tracking her?
Like following her.
Why? What is his reasoning?
I'm telling you, he goes off the wall with his sermons. They'll start one way and then like he'll divulge into like being a good husband and like all the things that he does and like how Micah has done all these horrible things. It gets bad.
Oh my God.
But I did watch the sermon where he confirmed that. So, and there's also body cam footage from a cop that on Micah's car found that tracking device. So that was real.
My God. It's all making sense now why everybody on social media is like, hey.
There's a reason why we're not calling this episode Micah Miller Suicide. We're just putting her name because there's some suspicion. So
I've lost track already. We're how many minutes in? We're like 10 minutes, 15 minutes into this. And I'm already like, how many red flags have we had? Because Jesus Christ, dude.
Well, it wasn't just her digital devices too. A lot of their assets that they had as a married couple were being moved into his name alone or into the church's, like, not church's name, but like
in the church's name.
Yeah, it was made to be the church's property. And the assets included, they have really large properties and a private plane.
Oh my God.
So all of those assets are now owned by the church or him. But But Micah was a very smart woman. She had been collecting evidence.
Good girl. Good girl.
Over the years, she'd been collecting evidence on JP. She had this in a paper binder. And then she also digitally had a lot of evidence as well. So that's text messages, emails, and then like screenshots, records of like alleged blackmailing.
Oh
things
my God.
Things of that sort. So even like alleged affairs that were happening during their marriage. So
on his end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So while he has all of her devices, she gets them back when she's released, and she finds that all of her phone, computer, everything has been wiped. Not only that, she's unable to access her cloud account, any social media, or email. And allegedly, JP had access to these and would respond to messages acting as Micah while she was in hospital.
Wow. Like he's taking control to a whole new level.
I mean, and you can tell she really wanted this divorce. And she had plans for after the divorce. So she started this, it's called the Works of Faith First Academy. It's a Christian missionary type project, but it's geared towards like education for kids in Kenya. And she was really passionate about this project that she had set up. And she'd even started she shipped some of her stuff to Kenya because she was like, I'm going to live there part-time, do like dual citizenship, and really set this up, for success, and really invest in this school for these kids because she really cared about what happened to them. And thankfully, so on her memorial pamphlet, it says that her sister will continue to do the work that her sister had begun to the best of her ability. So thankfully, that will not be falling through the cracks. There were a lot of other people involved, including a couple of different ministers that are already in Kenya. So,
okay.
It's not in vain, and it's super cool that Micah was involved with that.
Yeah.
Set that up. Give her full credit.
Yeah, I think it shows you just how big her heart was. And
mm-hmm.
I know as somebody who's deconstructed, I'm not a huge fan of mission trips. I don't support mission trips. I don't support Christians coming over and
converting
doing
people
stuff and converting and but you can at least just see her heart was to help, and it was focused on education and from what I'm gathering, it just shows you who she is and how deeply she cares, in my opinion.
For sure. I mean, she was fully dedicated to the cause, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
That's admirable.
So, overall, she's hopeful for this post-divorce life, but she also told Sierra, her sister, that she was scared that she wouldn't make it past the divorce, afraid that her life would be taken from her. She said this on multiple occasions. And she also told her, and I think she had told a couple of friends too, if I end up with a bullet in my head, it wasn't me, it was JP. That's a very specific statement. And a lot of us have, said similar things, to loved ones, knowing what the other person was capable of in the marriage.
And let's just be honest. Statistically, do women shoot themselves in the head if they're committing suicide? Yes, it happens. But statistically,
less frequent because women don't like to leave the mess for someone to clean up, or the traumatic thing that it's going to cause for their loved ones to find their body that way. They're going to do, carbon monoxide poisoning or pills or something like that.
Yes.
Something
Gunshot
much more.
Wound suicides are more prevalent among men. So anytime a woman says it, they say that a woman has died by suicide and the mode of death is a gunshot wound to the head. My antennas are always are we sure about that? Can we track the trajectory of the bullet wound and do some science?
Okay,
Anyways.
well, it looks like, I was going to read you guys an email from JP to Micah.
Okay.
Looks like it has been deleted.
Oh, no.
Not by me. It was taken offline.
Okay.
Don't know why that is. I just wanted you guys to kind of see the way that he spoke to her.
Yeah.
I remember specifically from the email that he said, I need a real first lady. to be my wife. And
Asshole.
like, after all the things that you've done, I'm disgusted with you. And like,
oh my God.
you're the real villain in this pretty much. And like, saying things as if she has acted inappropriately. And he doesn't give any specific references as to what that is. And then he's like, oh, and by the way, about this like school in Africa that you're doing, I've been working with that minister as well. And I've been doing this and this and this. So like, it's going to be a huge success. So like, thanks for your little part in it. Kind of like
my gosh.
a jab, like taking credit for it in a way. And I'm just paraphrasing all of this, but
yeah,
it was a
And let's
confirmed
say-
email.
Okay, and let's say allegedly, since we don't have the email that we can reference since it's been taken offline for some reason, let's just say allegedly.
Allegedly,
From
he
what-
said this in an email to Micah
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Lola read.
that I read. And so he's referencing that school that she's setting up.
Oh my God, it's so manipulative.
Yeah.
So manipulative. Makes me want to punch him in the nuts.
He actually said in a sermon that I watched that this is prior to her death. He says that Micah came up with this idea to start the school, which is really cool. But then she goes to the hospital and then she gets out and leaves me and drains the bank account of everything. He specifically says this. It's a recorded sermon that he says this.
Oh,
She did no such thing. You put her there against her will, allegedly.
Oh my God. And you said earlier, this church is something he started.
Yeah, he's the founder of it.
He's the founder.
He's the founder
my
and pastor.
God. It's always the founder, these egotistical, can't hack it in another congregation because they see your bullshit. So you have to go and
They would
create
see
your
right
own.
through. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to go create your own little cult following in your own church.
And you know what? A ton of Christian communities have like stepped up and been like, this is wrong. And I love that.
That's
I love the
good.
accountability
That's good.
that's
Love it.
happening like around the rallying for justice for Micah outside of Solid Rock Church. Like most of those
Perfect.
people are Christians and from
Perfect.
like
Love it.
different churches that are Christian. So
Love to see
it's
it.
really nice to see them like standing on the side of what is good,
Yes.
they're on the right side of history.
Yeah.
We can say that.
Good job,
So-
guys.
So we're skipping forward about a month or so. Micah served JP divorce papers on April 25th of 2024.
I don't like this. That's very close to the timing.
Yeah. On April 27th, 2 days later, Micah's body was found with a gunshot wound to the head in Lumberton, North Carolina. So 2 days after serving him.
She didn't kill herself. Abso-fucking-lutely not. She did not kill herself. No, this lines up. No. We know statistically in divorce cases like this, or not divorce. What am I talking about? I'm getting worked up, guys. I'm getting worked up.
She can't think.
I can't think. Domestic violence situations, this most dangerous time is when you're leaving.
Yeah.
Is when you're leaving. And she served him divorce papers 2 days before her body was found. I'm sorry. In my opinion, my personal opinion for educational purposes only, she did not kill herself. Full stop. Anyways, you can keep going.
Her family's not convinced of that either. I'm not convinced of it. I think anyone with more than 3 brain cells is not convinced of that. So let me
There's
give you
no
the
way.
timeline of the day that she passed. So the day, this is all recorded from like phone records, video cameras, things like that. So I don't know how her day was before 11 a.m. But around 11 a.m., her Ring doorbell caught her leaving her home in Myrtle Beach. At around 12 p.m., she's seen at Dick's Pawn Shop in Myrtle Beach, where she purchases a handgun, which is a Sig Sauer, and ammo and registers the firearm. I have to give a side note on this. Micah already owned firearms based off of their divorce court documents. She owned plural firearms. So why would she go purchase another one? She spent about $500 on this. She was kind of strapped for cash. If she's going to be spending this amount of money, things are not lining up.
So my first thought is, did he have access to all of the firearms? Not her. So she did not have anything to protect herself. So she left and went and got this. weapon. That would have been my assumption.
That's what I'm thinking. And a lot of other people have thought that as well after reviewing their divorce documents and everything. My assertion is definitely that she was getting this for protection. Also, whenever she's like speaking to this person at the like counter, she is just like, she looks so sweet talking to them.
Aww.
She just looks so like, yeah, take your time, like she like looks down at her phone and like shakes her head, like you can tell she's a little bit distressed, but she's putting on like a really good show for the person at the counter when they come back.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they spoke about or anything. But around 1 p.m., Micah is seen driving her black Honda on US Highway 501. And at around 1:30, she's seen arriving at 41 Grocery and Grill in Mullins, which is a convenience store.
Okay.
1:35, she's seen leaving that store, and she's got a drink and she got gas when she was there.
Okay.
2:54 p.m., Micah calls 911 dispatch in Robeson County from Lumber River State Park. The state park is about 41 minutes from this convenience store. So almost right as she gets there, she's calling 911.
What was her reasoning for calling 911?
Well, let me think. 1:35 is when she's leaving the store. I just realized something.
What?
She had more time than what I originally thought. So 1:35, let's say, so a 41-minute drive. Let's say she gets there around 2:15. It's 2:54 when she calls 911 dispatch.
Oh.
She's got plenty of time.
Yeah, she's there for easily 30 minutes.
I wonder what was
more.
happening in that time. Who was she speaking with? Who was there with her, maybe?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Why did she go there?
Questions. Yeah, that's kind of a while away. So the 911 call, let me tell you, you can listen to it. It's like everywhere. It's a pretty short call, to be honest. So first thing she says is she asks, can my phone be tracked? And the dispatch said, maybe, do you know where you're at? And she said, yeah, I'm at the state park. And then the person was like, hold on, let me see if I can see where you're at. And she then stated to the dispatch, I'm about to shoot myself and I want my family to be able to find my body. And the person immediately like softens their tone. They're like, okay, I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Just hang on for a minute because I want to make sure I have your precise location. She's like trying to keep her on the line, but Micah hangs up. So before any other information could be gathered, she cut the line. And the dispatch did try to call Micah back multiple times, but was unable to make contact. So that's the last that we hear from Micah.
Oh my God. Okay, this is taking a turn I was not expecting.
Yeah, so police obviously arrived to the scene. They conducted ground search and aerial search to find her. And a person who was fishing nearby approached and said that they found a bag. And when police got the bag, they found Micah's things inside of it, including her ID. And this person also said that they had heard crying when they were fishing. And then shortly after, they heard a gunshot. Around 4 p.m. that day, another fisherman contacts local PD stating, I found a body in the water while out in his kayak. So that body, unfortunately, was Micah Miller. And her gun was found later in the evening underwater.
Oh, wow.
Let me just say that Dr. Richard Johnson, who is the medical examiner, he has a clean record. I did check on that. Since the 90s, he's been practicing. And he said, based on the nature of the wound, it is consistent with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So, seems pretty cut and dry.
It really, okay, I'm gonna say, up until, like, I might eat my words on this, but up until she bought the gun or, went to the convenience store or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm as convinced, like, she did not commit suicide. But now hearing the story the way I'm hearing, at this point, it does look very black and white.
It does.
So,
especially if you don't know the nature of their relationship, if you don't know JP, if you don't know his past, if you don't know anything about the inner workings of their marriage.
So this is that, and I'm sure you're about to get into this. My first question is the amount of social media coverage that this has had since it's happened. There has to be more that we haven't got to yet, because how did this black and white cut and dry suicide turn into what it is today?
Yeah. So I'm not sure really how it got sparked besides a sermon. And
It's always a sermon.
That'll come into play later. But first, we need to ask, where was JP? You know, your wife
Yes.
is out for like a really long time. Have you been talking to her? Like, where are you?
Yeah. And you said earlier, before you get into that, you said earlier that she had more time when she got to the park before she, supposedly committed suicide or allegedly committed suicide. She had a lot of time. I feel like that does line up with suicide in the sense of like, you have to work yourself up to pulling the trigger. If that's something that she did do, then I could see that time being spent
Like mourning,
crying, mourning, grieving, planning,
dealing with the reality of what's about to happen. That's for sure. I think it begs the question, was it that circumstance, which is very common with, someone that's about to commit suicide, or was there someone else present?
Yeah.
Was there someone else on the phone?
Ew. Did they have children?
He has children from a previous marriage.
Oh.
Yeah. We're not done with JP. I've got plenty on him.
I'd like to talk to that ex-wife.
We're going to talk about him. So where was JP?
Okay.
His whereabouts were confirmed. He was allegedly with a woman that he's allegedly romantically involved with, despite being married.
Oh my gosh. Are we shocked, everybody? Let's say it together. No.
And let me just say, it's allegedly Susie Skinner. And allegedly, so this is not alleged, this is fact. Her former husband was wheelchair bound and fell in a pool and died. And allegedly, it's not even alleged, this happened. JP conducted his funeral.
Oh, son of a bitch.
And allegedly, JP and Susie are they're together.
Hold on. Okay. He was wheelchair bound and then fell into a pool and died?
So I don't know a lot about the story, but what I gather is that he was wheelchair bound because of an accident that happened. So it wasn't like he was always in a wheelchair. And then his wheelchair came too close to a pool. He fell in and drowned. I believe that Susie was there.
Okay.
Allegedly.
I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to leave that right there.
It was confirmed that he was with that girlfriend in Charleston for a sporting event on April 26th, the day before Micah died. And this is proven by eyewitnesses and license plate readers. Detectives confirmed that they stayed overnight in the Charleston area.
Okay.
How did this all come to light? You ask, why are we not just believing that this is suicide?
So he stayed the night. But when did he come back?
But when did you come back?
That's my question.
Who did you talk to? What did you do? Did you stay with Susie the whole time? Susie, would you like to speak to us? I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Just know it doesn't have to be like this, Susie. You can still get out.
God, run away. Jesus
Be safe,
Christ.
girl. Be safe. So this all made a media frenzy because the day after Micah's passing, JP preached at Solid Rock Church as if nothing has happened.
You can take a day off. God damn.
That's what I said. I mean, this is even if you're separated, that's your wife. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
But he shocks everyone because so he preaches just like normal. And at the end, this is exactly what he says. He says, after this announcement, I ask that you leave church quietly and not talk about the announcement in this building. And my request for you after this is to still come to church and serve and give and pray because I'm taking a little break and don't want to have to worry about the church. I got a call last night that my wife had passed. It was self-induced up in North Carolina. We're going to have a funeral for her here next Sunday. And yeah, I'm just going to go off adrenaline now. Y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. Y'all know she wasn't well mentally and she needed medicine that was hard for her to get. And then he passed the mic to another church leader. That's a really odd way to say that your wife has passed and to wait until the end of a sermon after an altar call to do that. And then to go on about like, y'all still like come to church and do stuff. And like, I don't want to have to worry about it.
Don't talk about it in this building.
Don't talk about it.
It's very cruel. The way that it's very emotionless. There's no emotion in there. It's just like, I'm sorry, the air fryer's broken and you can't have your fried chicken. Like, that's what it feels like. What the fuck?
I agree.
This was your wife. You've known her since she was 14. And this is how you're announcing her suicide?
I know. Yeah. And
what?
Not only this, so I'm in agreement with you. And body language expert from the FBI, Scott Rouse, also thinks the same as you. He surveyed the footage of the sermon and determined that he is not displaying any signs of grief.
Yeah.
Like any at all. An announcement was made by the church, I guess like leadership that was under him, the following Monday after church. It said that Pastor John Paul Miller was released from his ministerial functions for a time of healing, counsel, guidance, and guidance pursuant to our governing instrument. And the church's website has been suspended. They didn't announce that. I have tried to access the website multiple times with no help, with no success.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't shock me. Because there's a way that you can in your back office of a website, if you like, let's say you have something through like SiteGround or whatever, you can go in and like put it like as if it's like under construction to where it leads nowhere. So I can see like if they were getting a whole bunch of publicity after this, just like, pull the cord.
Well, some people had said, so you can leave reviews apparently about the church on the website. I don't know this. I guess this is alleged because I can't access the site.
Yeah.
But you could leave like, oh, such an encouraging place to worship. Love Pastor JP, whatever. So I have more concerning information though. At Micah's memorial service, JP spoke, and he stated that he visited her body several times, laying next to her body, and said he once even tried raising her from the dead.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God.
I mean, you can't make this up. He said this on film. It's all over the internet. Like,
this is such a performance because like, you don't make that kind of black and white, the air fryer's down type announcement for your wife who has passed away and then turn around and try to be like, I tried to raise her from the dead. What? Shut up.
It's disrespectful to not only her, but her body that's left with us, you know?
And for those that are listening that are not religious or you didn't grow up religious, yes, people do try to raise people from the dead, and they've been doing it for years, and they try to do it for years. And there's many people that believe that this is a thing, and I may or may not have done these prayers in the past, okay? We all have our embarrassing moments.
This is confession time for us.
But to do that at her funeral, and like, I can't even imagine like her sister knowing what she knows about Micah and Micah's troubles and frustrations and the marriage and
her dad too. I haven't gotten into her dad.
Oh shit!
Dad's got some things to say.
I would see red.
Understandably. Well, 2 days after Micah was found deceased, JP actually tried to break into her apartment, but her landlord would not allow him in.
Oh my God!
Was he maybe looking for the binder of journaled evidence? He had the digital.
Ooh.
You know, he got all the stuff out of their shared home, but she was living at an apartment during their separation. Were you looking for the binder that's now? I'll talk about it later. So
she left a little breadcrumb, guys.
Let's talk about JP's past. So this is, well, some of it's not alleged. In 1997, he was charged with delinquency of a minor, but charges were dropped by prosecutors. I don't know why. In April of 2000, he was found guilty of aggravated assault with a weapon and causing property damage of more than $300.
Oh my God. How old was he? And this was 2007? Well, he's still young.
No, that's April of 2000 is when that happened. I don't know.
Okay. I know. He's still probably young.
Yeah. In February 2008, charges of domestic abuse were filed against him, but never prosecuted. So,
Oh, shit. Here we go.
I told you earlier that he had kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to talk about them. They have nothing to do with
Okay.
this. But
Yeah.
I will talk about his previous wife.
Okay.
He was married to a woman named Allison who helped him establish Solid Rock. And she actually filed for divorce from him because she found out about Micah and JP having an affair.
No.
The plot thickens.
The plot thickens. Oh, man.
Now listen,
Oh, my
I
God.
do not, that was not right. That was not
Absolutely.
right. I do not necessarily blame Micah for this because it could have been any woman. He's the one that made that choice to, cheat, to go outside of their marriage. And Micah was a child when she met him.
Yes.
I believe that possible this is alleged. It is my belief that there was possibly grooming that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly.
Because let's face it, this is not alleged. This is fact. There was a major imbalance of power between the two.
Absolutely.
This is her pastor. This is the founder of the church. He's married and let's just say she's 18. Like, let's just make it legal to to play that card. It is still not right. It is still an imbalance of power and he is still majorly in the wrong. And her frontal lobe is not fully developed. Okay. So she's not making the best decisions. I'm not making excuses for her. I'm just saying.
I couldn't verify this one thing, but you say imbalance of power.
Mm-hmm.
Something was brought up, I believe, by Allison in a different interview or blog. I can't confirm it, so we're just going to say it's alleged that Micah was the babysitter for the kids. So that would make it an even greater imbalance of power if she's working for him. So,
oh my, that doesn't shock me, honestly, if that is the case.
Yeah. So,
seriously.
like I said, Allison found out about them, and then she also said that JP also confessed to her to having sexual encounters with girls in the church under the age of 18. Rape. That's called rape. That's called molestation. That's not called a sexual encounter. So
he confessed to it. Why isn't he in prison?
I don't know. I don't know exactly how that situation came about that he admitted that to her, but he had also confessed to her and their church that he had an addiction to soliciting prostitutes. Nothing wrong with sex work, but it is different when you preach against it.
Exactly. Like, you're preaching abstinence, you're in a marriage, you're preaching all of the purity culture bullshit, and then you're hiring prostitutes. Math ain't mathin' here.
And I will say the church leaders held him accountable for this. They told him, you need to go to counseling for this addiction, but he refused. And that caused a huge break in the church to happen. A lot of people left. So
absolutely,
all new members start to come in as old members leave. During the divorce, Allison said that she was working with him to resolve the issues so that it would actually he wouldn't be considered an adulterer. She was working with him for a civil divorce as to not have him lose his career or be scorned by the church. She did not have to do that. And that's what she did in order to try to salvage the community that she had helped grow.
And if he was abusive in that marriage, I can see that as a survival tactic.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying to get out as easy as you can.
For sure.
That sucks.
And more details are coming out slowly about their marriage, but that's all that I was able to confirm that was said by her. So,
man,
Micah's father, we have to talk about him.
Yeah, we have to talk about him.
Michael.
Okay.
God, I love him.
Oh.
So he said in an interview that the investigators he said that they're not doing all that they can do.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. He said that they did not do a full toxicology report or complete an autopsy. And he said that JP rushed the cremation process. That's right.
God damn
Micah's
it.
body is cremated.
Fucking A. It's always, that's how it always happens. Son of a bitch.
I know. Michael said that, he'd rushed that process, that JP received Micah's body on April 30th. So 3 days after her passing.
Oh my God.
Her family was not permitted to see her body until they signed the cremation certificate. I'm not understanding what exactly that means. I didn't know that they had to do that if she's married. Maybe it's just circumstantial because they're separated, or they were separated and like filed for divorce.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I don't have a lot of details on that, but that is what he had said.
My opinion, or my guess would be that if they were separated, it is the way that the funeral home or the crematory is trying to cover their butts legally.
That makes sense.
This is how, like, she's supposed to be cremated, but like if he signs off on it, we could get in trouble. So we need everybody to sign so that it's just like all of our ducks are in a row so we don't get sued.
That makes
I could be
sense.
wrong, but that's my only guess.
That's a good guess. The family encouraged JP to have an autopsy done, and he acted like he didn't know what it was at first.
Shut your face.
Good try.
Shut
You're in your 40s, man. You know what it
face.
is. You know what it is. But then after they were like, this is what it is, he was like, oh, that's not necessary. So Michael said that law enforcement actually found multiple shell cases at the scene.
Excuse me?
A twist. Yeah.
I'm
And-
sorry.
So he said that it was 2 shell casings that were found. Why is no one talking about this? This is a detail that has gone just
Wait,
in
to
the wind,
wayside.
it seems.
Yeah.
But Michael had more disturbing information to share. He said that Micah had confided in him a few months prior that, this is gross. If you need to back out for it, it's fine. We're at the end here, though. He said that Micah told him that JP, allegedly, would force her to engage in sexual acts with homeless people, specifically homeless men or prostitutes, on multiple occasions. So he would like have her in the car and he would go just like pick up someone off the street, invite them into the car, and in the car have them or her perform sexual acts against her will.
Oh my God. I have
It's
no
hard
words.
to even like comment on it because it's the highest level of disgusting control,
manipulation,
manipulation,
sex
sexual
trafficking.
Yeah,
It's-
just disgusting.
And why would her father make this up?
That's the thing. Like, this is an embarrassing detail. This is something that like you would not want to talk about. And especially she confided in him and he, him coming forward about that. I am really glad that he shed that light.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrific.
And we cannot blame Micah for what happened to her. And like, no one paint her out to be the bad person, because if you do, I will come for you.
Oh my God.
Well, at this point in time, JP's ex-wife has teamed up with Micah's family to
I love
assist
that.
in the investigation. So she's fully on board with them as far as I know at this point. Micah's lawyer, so like her divorce lawyer, said that that Micah kept tons of journaled evidence against JP, and she thinks, she's got enough to work with despite all of the things he erased. And JP also confirmed some of the information in various sermons, as I've said before,
Right.
and stuff that's in the binder. So the binder is the big, we're
Key.
still waiting. At this point in time, I'm still waiting on that information to come forward, if it ever will.
Yeah. If it probably won't, if they think it's going to be used
may
to
not.
bring charges against him, they could
Mhm.
hold that pretty tight to the chest. And I'm all here for that. If that's what's going to prove, if there was a crime
Yeah.
that charges need to be brought in.
So the Micah's family lawyer said that they're pursuing civil action against JP due to the amount of evidence that Micah left for them to work with. And that binder has been handed over to authorities at this time. So that's where I leave you on it.
Damn. I was not prepared for this.
Like I said, there's a lot of other information out there, side notes about Micah and relationships that she's had and that JP has had. There's a story about a waitress that came forward and did an interview on some, was it Fox News? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go over those stories because, yes, they definitely shed light on how he's a shitty person and he's not acting like grief-stricken or like even just sad about the whole thing. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of other gritty, nasty details out there, but I couldn't confirm them the way that I like to feel like it's fact. So
I'm torn.
it's hard.
I'm fucking torn with this because I think it could go either way. And I think that we have more questions that need answered, specifically like, yes, he stayed overnight, but when did he come back? Because this was like 2-something in the afternoon, 3:00. How far away is that? Could he have come? I have questions.
It seems like they've cleared him. It seems like, from what I gather, they're not... If they're pursuing him, they're being very tight-lipped about it. We don't have more information on that. And I hope that they are. I'm sure with all the sermons out there, I'm sure that they are looking into this with a very close lens,
Yeah. And let's play devil's advocate and say she did commit suicide. Okay.
Yeah.
Is he responsible? In a way, in my opinion, yes.
You can still go to prison for, like, if someone commits suicide, someone else can still be held accountable. Like,
I think he would be responsible, in my opinion, because of all of the trauma that he forced her to endure. But then it gets to me the 2 days. Like, she served him divorce papers and then she committed suicide 2 days later. The timing is weird.
Heavy escalation when she had plans. She had her stuff shipped out. She was collecting evidence. She was ready for this divorce. Like, she could handle this. What did he say to her in those 2 days? What happened in between?
Yeah. What were her days leading up to this? What are her text messages? I have so many questions and I know the police are going over it. And the only thing that I can think of, in my opinion, that what could have happened to where she was like, okay, I'm committing suicide, is she contracted some kind of STD, incurable
I had thought
type,
about that too.
Then like couldn't live with it. Like it was just too much from the trauma because those don't show up right away. Those can take months to show up.
Yeah. And that's a reality of like the being forced to be with prostitutes, or also what if he was sleeping with other people on the side? That's just a theory. That's not proven or anything. It leaves a lot of room to like speculate. And unfortunately, that's happening in droves right now all over TikTok.
That happens with these kinds of cases.
I get it. Everyone wants the truth because it's like, it's fueled by a good desire. And the desire is justice for Micah and like truth to come about when it comes to JP and who he really is at the core of his being. So I love that we're talking about this. I love that the conversation is going because it has to. We have to. We can't forget about Micah.
Yeah.
We can't let this slide. Regardless if she did take her own life of her own, motivation, and no one else had anything to do with that.
He's a piece of shit on every level imaginable.
He still contributed to a lot of other traumatic things. Like you said, a lot of other abuse that should be, at the very least,
Jesus Christ.
He should not be working in the field that he's working in my opinion.
I still am frustrated at the fact that the church was like, you need to get counseling over this addiction or problem of you seeing, hiring prostitutes. And he refuses. And they said, okay, what are you preaching next Sunday? What the hell?
I know. I wonder what that conversation looked like. I don't know who the church leaders were at the time because I'm not really sure exactly the time frame in which this happened. I'm hoping that Allison will shed more light with time. And guys, we'll have to do another episode on this at a later time when we have more information. I'm sure more information will come out.
Yes.
And we'll be able to talk more about it. For now, just you're going to hear a lot of shit. You're going to hear a lot of off the wall weird things about Micah and about their relationship. And just make sure that you are checking your sources. Remember that the family and the lawyer and law enforcement have the most factual evidence on hand, and they'll give us what we need to know. We don't always need to know every single thing.
My suggestion with these cases like this that are ongoing is always follow the family. We will link all of their social medias or anything they have going on. We will link that all below so you have that. But follow the family. That will help you get the most accurate information and up-to-date information. Now,
do not bombard them with messages. Do not message them. But like you can, I know most of the sisters as well as the dad, they have Facebooks. I didn't reach out to them because I know they're getting a lot of media requests. They probably wouldn't have gotten back to me. And I know that they're trying to grapple with this on their own. It's really fresh. I mean, literally, this happened not even a month ago. So I do really enjoy hearing everything they had to say in like their interviews, and the affidavit that her sister Sierra filled out was extremely detailed.
Wow.
I'm really grateful that she did that, and that she's like taking over Micah's estate and really pushing to like be in charge of all the legal things so that it's not in JP's control anymore.
Right. And if or when, I will say when, we do a part 2 on this, because I'm sure that we will, no matter which way this case goes. I'm positive more is probably going to come out, especially about JP. It will be a while before we do one. We need more than just a little bit to come out before we do an actual
as soon as the binder stuff
part
comes
2.
out, we're not immediately recording, like.
Yeah. We need more to, fit into an episode. And so it'll be, same thing, a Micah Miller part 2. But you'll have to wait for it because we have to wait for it.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you pray, if you vibe, if you manifest, I don't know, whatever you do that's positive and good and loving, send that towards the family because they really do need it in this time. And even JP's kids, because I don't know their relationship with Micah, but I know this is hard for them with their mom, Allison, being involved too. So, just think about everyone involved and send them all the good thoughts.
All the love, all the support. Yeah.
For sure. Thank you guys for listening and for being patient with me for getting this information. Thank you for requesting this and like sending it, pushing it to our inbox. That was really helpful too, even though our editor was the first to show us the videos that you sent me and like all the other information that was pushed my way. It did help me, weed out the actual facts of the case. So I am grateful for you guys doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this. And this was really hard. Let's talk about something a little
really quick before we get into our palate cleansers. I want to give you guys a slight update. A couple weeks ago we did a small little snippet of Layla Santinello and Holland Snap. I always want to say Hollylyn, but it's Holland Snap.
Holland.
And their missing persons cases.
Yes.
I am so excited to announce that Kendall Ray covered Layla Santinello's missing person case. I talked to her mom, Jennifer, about it. Like right as it popped up on my YouTube page, I was like texting her mom, "Oh my gosh, Kendall covered it." She was like, "No, this is so huge for Layla." And so we were talking back and forth about it. And she did, Jennifer, Layla's mom, did so good with her, like she was able to be in the video. She sent in recordings of her talking about Layla and the whole situation. And she did such a great job. She did a phenomenal job. It was so good. So just to give Layla more support, if you guys want way more detail on that case, Kendall Ray did an amazing job on it. We're going to link that video below if you want to go check it out, and you'll get to see pictures of Jennifer and hear her talk. So I just wanted to give that little update because it just warmed my heart that
I love that.
Kendall
I'm so happy that she covered that. Kendall, she's one of the most ethical true crime
she's the
researchers
goat.
And content producers. I have so much respect for her.
So
she was
much
the
respect.
first, I think she was the very first true crime content creator I ever started following. And I followed her from like when she was just doing makeup and stuff.
Oh,
like
really?
That was how I found her. Was just, she was in college doing videos. And so I remember the original
Right. I followed Bailey Sarian first, and then my sister-in-law.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And then my sister-in-law recommended Kindle, and then I started watching her true crime cases, and then I started watching Mile Higher, and then I started watching The Sesh, and so now I'm watching Lights Out, and so like I watch all of their.
Nice.
They do their podcasts on YouTube as well, so that's why I'm saying I'm watching it, because I like watching theirs because you can really see it and them talk. It's fun. But yeah, I love all their stuff. So you'll like. If you like our podcast, you'll like all of their podcasts.
Of course.
Even The Sesh, which is like way more laid back and like pop culture stuff, you'll still like it.
Yeah.
So go follow any of their podcasts. True Crime with Kendall Ray, Lights Out with Josh and Austin, and then The Sesh with Kendall and Janelle. And they have one more. Oh, Mile Higher with Josh and Kendall. So you'll love them all. Go check them out. Anyways, palette cleansers. Do you want me to go first?
Go first, yeah.
Go first. Okay. I'm actually really excited. It's been a good week in our house because we are getting shit done. And I've done so much more in the garden. My stuff is growing, and really like they all kind of went through like a kind of like a transplant shock-ish, you know, like they spent a lot of time, I guess, deepening their roots. And so you couldn't see a whole lot of growth. So it was making me worried. And then we had a whole bunch of rain. And so I was like, oh, don't drown them. But they're all kind of coming back. So I'm like growing actually now. So that's really good.
Excellent.
And tomorrow, my sweet husband is changing the faucet and knob and shower head in our bathroom. And it'll finally stop dripping.
That's the best feeling. Even if you don't have a drippy shower head, come on, just a new shower head and faucet and knobs and stuff. It's just, that's a good purchase.
It's a good purchase. And it's all black. And I'm so excited because we have white tile and a white tub, and it's like a cast iron tub.
What a nice contrast.
And so what I'm going to do, and I already have bought all the stuff, but I'm waiting for him to change out the faucet so it's not leaking while I do this. I am changing the grout to black grout. Yes. So I'm removing all the grout. Excellent. And then we're putting in black grout. So it's going to look so nice. And it needs to be regrouted, and it needs to be recalked. And so that, and I'm doing black caulk. And so I always like try to do the L in that. Caulk. Like, caulk.
No, I understand. You don't want to say caulk on the air.
Right?
I get it.
So it'll be such a nice, dramatic, contrast, which I'm super excited about. And we also have a vintage or antique, not vintage, but antique dresser, like chest of drawers. Ooh. It's like, I don't know if it's a dresser or chest of drawers. I don't know what they call them, but it's got the like side by side, it's not like just a tall one. It's a wider one. We have one, and we've had it for about maybe 6 months, 8 months. We've had it in our barn, and it's so beautiful. And that's going to be our vanity. And then we're going to buy top sinks for it. And I'm super excited to get that working. But unfortunately, we can't put that in until we buy the flooring. Yeah. And we can't buy the flooring for the bathroom until we can buy all of it, because you can't go out and buy your flooring for only one room at a time, because then they're going to discontinue it and you'll be fucked. So
exactly. One project after another. I love it.
I know it is, but we're getting a lot done. We got a lot done.
You're making good progress though.
In the chicken run as well. And so that's been really nice. The chickens are... they're living their best life. They're thriving, man. They really are. It's so exciting.
I love that for them.
So yeah,
they deserve it.
Oh, and my toddler graduated pre-K today.
So precious. She
was so cute.
She looks so adorable. Going up there and getting her little certificate.
Up there, getting her.
She looked like she had some sass.
They would walk across, and the teacher and the principal would be like, wave to the, to your family, wave to the audience. And all the kids waved except for my toddler. And she was just strutting across like, I ain't waving. I'm getting my certificate, bitches.
This is my moment. Don't stop me, Mom.
Don't stop me.
I get it.
It was good. It was good. What is your palate cleanser, Lola?
As of today, May 22nd, a Canadian farmer has millions of surplus potatoes and is working overtime to give them away.
Oh,
isn't that precious? 12 million pounds of potatoes he's going to give away.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of potatoes.
Yeah, amazing.
But honestly, I love potatoes anyway, so I would take me a few bags.
I mean,
are you a potato person?
Potatoes in any form. I'll take them.
Any form. any fucking form. I have never ate a potato.
I'm a hashy brown girl too.
Oh, I love. Oh, and I will say, Waffle House had some damn fucking good hash browns. I was
see
like,
the hype.
those were some fucking good hash browns. Like those are hash browns I will crave.
Oh yeah,
at random
they're
times.
so
like,
easy
I know
to make
that.
too.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah, I make hash browns at my house, but the Waffle House ones, I don't know. They put crack cocaine in it or something.
Unmatched. Thank you guys for tuning in. We do have merch available on our Instagram. There's a link in the bio if you want to go represent Cutie, treat yourself. Also, if you want to subscribe to our Patreon community, it's only $5 a month. You get access to our bonus podcast, the Potty Podcast, where we shoot the shit. It's more relaxed. Yes. It's unedited. You get to hear us be stupid and crazy and wild and talk about wild shit together. So
it's really fun. You guys should hop on over there. We're having a great time.
We'd love to have you. So
yes, I was going to say one more thing.
Say it.
I can't remember. Oh, okay. I was supposed to say.
Literally me every day.
So our recording schedule got a little out of whack. Okay. And we did an interview and that kind of threw things off. And so Lola ended up recording and then we kind of threw that up. Okay. So my husband was like, you guys are kind of saying stuff out of the order when you get to the end. And so if you hear us like teasing the Patreon in the next couple of episodes, just
we're
ignore
so sorry.
us, okay? It's already out, okay? It's how we've done it, okay? I'm so sorry.
Let's just say, just pretend that it was. When you hear our Patreon, just know that we're encouraging the Patreon. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's all.
Join the community. That's all you need to know. It's fun. It's not a cult. It's not a cult.
Apparently, our last episode, Tyler said that we were like, we've got some fun things coming. Oh my gosh, we're so excited. And he's like, your Patreon's already out, babe. And I was like, fuck, because we like got our scheduling up. So
you know what? Follow us on TikTok and Instagram, and you'll get all of the most up to date information. Anyway,
yes. So, just keep it in your head. Except for this episode, we usually record about 4 to 5 weeks ahead of schedule. So and
try to
ahead of you getting
for you
it.
guys.
Yeah, getting our shit done. Anyways, yeah, like Lola said, thanks for listening. And if you're not over on our Patreon, what are you doing with your life?
What are you
Weirdos.
doing? Who are you?
I'm just kidding. We love you guys. We will see you guys next week. We have some great episodes coming, so make sure you're subscribed. As always, stay safe,
stay skeptical.
And steer
clear of the cultish carousel.
We'll get it. We've got a new ending and I love it, but we're still working on it. Just hang in there. Anyways, we'll see you guys later. Bye. Also, heathens, if you're enjoying the show so far, please rate, subscribe, do all the things because we love you and your life depends on it. Our life depends on it. Our souls depend on it. I'm just kidding. They don't. But the podcast depends on it. And so we need you to do it. Anyways, we love you guys. Thanks for listening. Also, head over to our Patreon, like we said earlier, get you some cool merch, support us so we can keep bringing you these amazing cases. The Deadly Faith Podcast is brought to you by Queercast Network. It is produced by Lacey Bean and Lola Robbins and audio engineered by Eric Howe. Thanks for listening.